The best extreme STR unit in the game, but how should you build his hidden potential? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the recently released on Global Dokkan STR LR CELL MAX. We're going to take a look at his passive and decide how we should build his hidden potential, because this is a unit that can do a lot, and his hidden potential build is really going to determine the final outcome of what he does, right? So let's go ahead, let's hop on and let's take a look. So first things first, right? He is an artificial life forms super bosses, category key 4 HP attack defense 150%. But we are not we're not running this guy as lead, although there are some gimmicky stuff you can do with him as a friend lead under a 200% lead from Broly, but still you're often not running him as lead, right? On his super attack effect, he is greatly raising attack for the turn and greatly lowering attack and defense, and then on his 12 key, greatly raising attack for the turn. His passive skill gives him an insurance animation that activates once only, gives him attack defense 100% and guards all attacks, and launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack for 3 turns when there is an artificial life form or super boss's ally on the team. He gets key 5 and attack defense 300% and an additional key 1 up to 5 and attack 20% up to 100 with each attack performed. So that's 5 attacks basically, and then key 1 up to 5 and defense 20% up to 100 with each attack received, so 5 hits received. He also has an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack and an additional defense 250% and reduces damage received by 30% when all allies attacking in the same turn are artificial life forms, super bosses, or movie bosses. As long as you have all 3 on the same rotation, doesn't matter which of them they are. They also have an additional 250% and chance for performing a critical hit when there are no superhero allies attacking in the same turn. He also has an additional attack, super attack within the same turn after receiving an attack. So basically this guy can do a lot of additionals, right? And he basically, for the first couple of turns while his interest is up, he's near invulnerable, especially when you get to his active skill turn. His active skill turn is a target effect, and it can be activated when all allies are artificial life forms or super bosses, starting from the 4th turn, or when all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme class, starting from the 6th turn. It massively raises his attack for the turn and causes ultimate damage and gives him defense 999% while directing attacks at him. It basically means he's invincible for the turn, right? It would take a near impossibility for him to actually get hit with something that could kill him during this phase. Now, what does that mean for you and his hidden potential? Well, let's hop on over here to the Dokkan Wiki and let's take a look at the hidden potential here, right? So if we scroll all the way down here to the hidden potential skills, we can see that as an STR unit, right, he has a default of crit. So if you were to invest fully crit in him, he could get a max of 20, which caps out at 40%, right? Add an additional skill orbs and you have a 50% chance to crit. With additional attacks, since he's an STR, he can get a max of 15, capping out at 40%, including skill orbs. Or evasion, where he can cap out at 15% due to him being STR. And that means that, right, with additional orbs, if you have them, he can cap out at about 25%. So the question is, what do you build him? You would think, based on what he has here, he doesn't actually need the crit. But unfortunately, I can tell you from firsthand experience that 30% crit is incredibly low, and it's 30% we don't really want to say we rely on. So to be completely honest, based on my personal experiences with a 55% copy and a 69% copy, I do feel like crit is the way to go with him, right? Full crit, get that 40%, invest the orbs, get that 50% if you have 2 or more dupes in him. That extra crit is, that's what you're using him for, right? You are using him for that attack stat. He has one of the highest APT attack turns in the game. Very few units come close to what he's doing on that turn. You want to take advantage of it, and there is nothing worse than getting a non-crit during that turn, right? So raise your chance up by 50% by giving yourself that additional orbs into his critical hit. I would say allow for the sub to be additional attack, as that will allow him to deal an extra super, which will, again, because he's greatly raising, is going to be extra powerful, right? And it's just more for building this up faster, or this one rather, as well as, you know, just putting more damage on the table. This dude is a damage dealer. That is his function. That's what he does. He's got some pretty nice defensive tech, but at the end of the day, he is a damage dealer. Honestly, I mean, I could see, right, you forgoing the combo attack for evasion, but at the point where you're going sub, right, you're getting less than this 15%. You're getting around 10 to 11%. Actually, I think it's 9 on an STR unit. So, I mean, at best, you're going to get 19, which is really not a lot you can work with, right? It's not something to be relied on. So, I mean, I don't think the dodge helps him all that much. Plus, he wants to be hit, right? He's got to get hit to get his build up. So, I mean, yes, he's not going to be dodging all of those attacks, but at the same time, you're probably very rarely going to see him dodge. Far less so than if you invested the additionals, right? With additionals, you can get up to 30%, possibly 40%. It's at least slightly more consistent than a 9 to 11% chance to dodge. So I do think that all the way, go critical hit on him, make the most out of his attack stat. That's what you want out of him. That's what you're bringing him to the fight for. Take advantage and use it to the best of your ability, and then fill in the rest with either combo attack or dodge. I personally would lean in the direction of combo attack, but hey, if you're one of those dodge guys, then maybe that's your fallback there. But I mean, at a minimum, he should be crit to take advantage of the main thing he's lacking. So guys, that is it for the video. This is a real quick one. His son is pretty straightforward, right? If you guys liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, how did you build your LR CELL MAX? Or if you're waiting on him, how would you build him when you finally did pull him? Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.